Episode 7 of the Acolyte dropped tonight. And overall, long story short, it was again very mid. I'm very concerned with the direction in which they're taking the story. I really feel like it's leading into some sort of revelation that has to do with the Sith utilizing the girls, which in episode 1, by the way, I said it from episode 1 that they were a dyad in the Force. They didn't exactly confirm it, but they said that they were identical in basically like their DNA or something like that, and that they're a virgins, which is the same language that Qui-Gon Jinn used when he described finding Anakin, described him as a virgins in the Force. I've encountered a virgins in the Force. So I think, like I said from episode 1, I think the girls are a dyad in the Force. I think this is where Palpatine gets that knowledge about a dyad in the Force, even though he's not here or alive at the time. Plagueis probably passes it down to him. And in Rise of Skywalker, where he says, a dyad in the Force, unseen for generations. And then he also references this power of two returns the one true emperor. They had that little weird chant and stuff with all the witches, power of two. So I think it's going to tie all into that. And I hope not. We're gonna riot if they undermine Anakin Skywalker. George Lucas said from the very beginning, Anakin is the chosen one. The story of Star Wars is the story of Anakin Skywalker. It's the rise, fall, and redemption, the tragedy of the life of Anakin Skywalker, the chosen one. They're trying to super juice these girls, and let's just say, too, their characters are totally uncompelling. The only compelling characters from this show are really Chimere and kind of Soul, but Soul's character in this episode 7 was just so dumb and just repetitive. Like this story of the Jedi and putting their own bias and trying to force their will instead of the will of the Force is so old. Like, it's good the first time, it's good a couple of times, but we get it. Maybe add a different spin or a different approach to it. Anyway, that's not nearly my biggest gripe with the show, but the way that they did it with Soul's character in the show is just very elementary, wasn't very well done. I feel like it wasn't very well acted, even though I think the actor that does Soul's character has done about as good of a job you can with this terrible writing as he can. And I'm not one of these blind haters of the show either. Acolyte's bad. The first 4 episodes were very, very bad. Episode 5 was good because of the action. The writing and stuff still didn't make sense and still was bad. There's a lot of dumb things, like May changed her mind 8 times in that episode. Anyway, I'm trying to stay on topic with episode 7. Episode 7, Torvin's character too, just after they just told him he could go home and then running off oh, we can do this, then we can go home. It's we just said we can go home. Yeah, very poor writing. We redid all of episode 3 basically. Another short episode. They spent so much money on this show. Was it $140 million? Somebody did the math, so it's $1 million a minute or something like that. To replay stuff that we already saw in episode 3, but from a slightly different perspective. I get what they're trying to do and the certain point of view thing, and that George did and stuff, and I think that piece of it is cool. If it's done right. I just don't think it was done right, and I'm not biased. I'm not. I want to like it, and there are aspects of the show that I like. I like the action from episode 5. I like the character of Chimere. I think he's interesting. That's about it. Is probably some of the worst Star Wars one of the worst Star Wars shows I've watched, if not the worst. It's pretty bad. But there are some good points, and I am very interested, but also very concerned for the ending and how they tie it in, because the way that I see this going down and the way that it's been going, I think it's going to have really big implications for really into the prequels, the Force, because you remember Plagueis and Palpatine manipulate the Force and it retaliates and creates Anakin. So I wonder if they use the power of these girls, the dyad and the Force. Vanestra said in last episode when she got to the crime scene, something to tip the scales. I think both girls fall to the dark side. I've been saying that for like 2 episodes, but they both go to the dark side. They harness the power of the dyad, Plagueis does, or whoever, you know. Some people are saying Chimera is Plagueis. I think that would be really lame, but, you know, Disney's gonna Disney. So, and I do like and appreciate some of the finer like through lines of yin and yang and balance that they're putting through this. Like Soul and Chimera are almost like diametrically opposed. Obviously Osha and May, but you know the way that they do that's not very compelling. There's a ton of them. You know, all the episodes are sequenced like that. Each episode has like a counter episode in terms of the naming convention of it. I'm getting off topic again. Episode 7. Overall, I give it 4 out of 10. Because a lot of it was repeated stuff. It's cool seeing Jedi Master Kelnaka, the Wookiee Jedi. We don't see that too often. It's very rare. Even in Legends, very rare. Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens with the Force as a whole and how the Force is portrayed, impacted, and altered, and if they take this chance to diminish Anakin. I really hope they don't do that, because Star Wars is Anakin. Like, I know that you have to make new characters, and I know that you got to go bigger and bigger and bigger, but sometimes that's like, you can't rewrite the whole thing of what the story is, right? In the vein of trying to make it bigger and create new characters that have longevity. And they don't have to yet. Like, there's so much unexplored content with Anakin and Vader, like particularly Vader. Like the Vader comic books, they could turn that into a whole show, and use Hayden Christensen. Like there's still so much. It's still so early to have to bury the character of Anakin and try to dwarf it with something else. So I think a lot of people, myself included, will be really upset if they do that. I have a feeling they probably are. We'll see what happens. I hope not. I'm interested to see what happens, but I'm very scared to see what happens. There's also a theory about Anakin's mother being an ancestor of the witches, and her creating Anakin in the Force like that. I don't think we're going to get that one, but something to think about. There's a lot of different things to think about, and I do like that I'm in this position in terms of thinking about it. I wish I just wasn't worried about it. I wish I had enough trust in the writing in this show, the storytelling, the respect for original George Lucas Star Wars, which there is some of that in there, right? With the samurai stuff, the duality stuff. But I'm nervous. So we'll see what happens. Let me know what you guys think of the show in total, what you guys think of the episode in the comments, what you guys think of my breakdown. 4 out of 10 for me. Let me know what you guys rate it.